I really, really want something that isn't happening. 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 Where's my vibration on what isn't happening? So how can the universe give me something that I want to happen when my vibration is totally about what isn't happening? And so by giving up, as he did, by saying, never mind, I'm going to release the tension. I'm going to withdraw my attention from the fact that it is not happening. Now his desire became the strongest component, and in the vortex he goes. You sort of kind of get how it works? But hear the depths of what we're asking. In other words, what we're saying to you is, if you can make peace with the contrast, if you can make peace, this is a direct answer to your powerful and poignant question. The fastest way to get to where you want to be, over there someplace other than where you are, is to make peace with where you are. Isn't that interesting? A woman said to us, Abraham, I don't think you want my lover to ever come to me. I think you just want me to get so happy, even when he's not here, that I don't notice that he's not here. And we said, exactly.
Right.
Because when you stop keeping active within you the absence of something you want, it has to come. So the fastest way to get to where you want to be is to make peace with the fact that you're not there yet. Can you see what we're getting at? So here I am in a physical body, and I really like my physical body, and I want to do the very best that I can for it. So I've gone to seminars, really hundreds of seminars, and I've taken many classes. I've studied nutrition. I've studied just about every way of life. I took farming for education for several years. I have a master's in farming. I know all about fertilizers. I know all about the best nutrition in food. I know all about raw foods. I know all about cooked foods. I know all about vegetarian only. I know all about all of that. I've read all of the books. I've studied all of it. I'm really old, by the way, because it took me a very long time to make my way through all of that. And now I really want to do what's best to my body, and so I'm doing the very best that I can do. And so I'm trying to find a market. I'm trying to find a perfect market where I can go, where I can buy the perfect food. But now I have to understand where they got the food, how they grew the food, where they got the food, who the people that grew the food are, what they thought about the food that they grew, how old is the food, where's the food been, has anybody sprayed anything on the food, did anybody drizzle anything on the food, did anybody pee on this food, where's this food been? And now I have to study the nutritional content of the food, and I have to know, and these apples have been stored a very long time, and they don't have very much nutrition in them at all, and should they be peeled or shouldn't they be peeled, and should they be cooked or shouldn't they be cooked? And we say, just kill me now. Just kill me now. Or
get in the vortex.
You can accept that you are vibration first and foremost, and that your body is an extension of that. You can understand that you are a vibrational being, and that the basis of that which you are is vibrational, that the source of you is vibrational. You can understand that everything that you see here in this flesh, blood, and bone is an extension of vibration, and you can tend to your vibration first, so that when you are eating whatever it is that you are eating, you are not filled with the resistance that keeps it from giving you what you want it to give you. In other words, have you looked around the variety of that which you eat and the variety of that which you believe? It is very diverse, and yet there are people who are thriving under many diverse situations. We've been telling doctors and scientists, when you stop looking for cures and you start looking for vibrational reasons for things, now you'll begin to understand what's going on. You can just drive yourself crazy trying to affect your behavior in the appropriate way, where if you just take a little bit of time to find the thought that feels the best, and so that you are aligned with who you are, now the cells of your body are cooperating, and now your veritable chemical factory can do its very best with whatever you are giving it, and you can find thriving under very minimal conditions, you see. When you have decided that you're going to guide your life by deliberately orchestrating the behavior, not just yours, but the behavior of the farmers and the behavior of the government and the behavior of those around you, you just get yourself into such a wad of resistance that even when you are eating the finest of foods that your body is devouring in a way that would feed you right down to the cellular tips of your cellular toes, you still do not allow the nutrition to reach you because you're all wadded up in resistance. It's about your vibration. It's not about what you're eating. It's about your vibration. It's not about what you're doing. It's about your vibration. It's not even about what you're saying. It's about how you feel about what you're doing, you see. And so... So when very well-meaning people plead their case to you about the perils of this or the perils of that, what you have to do once you've gotten yourself into a place of alignment is just thank them for their consideration and thank them for their concern about you and assure them that you are on it and that you're working things out in your own way. We are not for a moment suggesting that you shouldn't want to help. And we're not for a moment suggesting that there are not things that will suit you better than other things. But we are suggesting that to try to sort them out, you never get it sorted out. But when you get into the vortex, it sorts itself out by the power of law of attraction. Thank you. It's where the soul within you dwells. It's where that which you call God is. It's the furthest expansion of that which you are. It's the culmination of all that you've become. It's the combination of the non-physical that you were before you came into this body and all that you've added to it since. It's the future of your children. It's the future of you. But it is the present tense of that which we are. And when you accept it as the present tense of that which you are, you can celebrate the abundance of it, the becoming of it in this moment. Because when you tune into it vibrationally, you are it. And when you are offering only one vibration, it must manifest in every way to show you. As people come forth, we'll call you one at a time and we will visit with you about whatever is on your mind. It is our powerful intention to assist you in getting into the proximity of this vortex of creation. Because if you are not somewhere near the solution that you seek, you won't hear our answer even though it will be brilliant. You have to be in the vibrational vicinity of what you're reaching for, which means in many cases you have to distract yourself from what's been bothering you, because do you know the vibrational frequency of a question and its answer are very different frequencies. The vibrational frequency of a problem and a solution are very different frequencies. And so we want this forum to be an opportunity for you to listen and feel and come into vibrational concert with who you really are, which means we're going to do our best to distract you from the vibrational patterning of what's been holding you apart from who you are. We want you in the vortex. That's where you belong. But we don't ever want to imply that you should just get in there and remain in there. You'd have to croak to do that. You came forth in physical form with the distinct intention of exploring contrast for the purpose of expansion, for the purpose of joyous expansion. Not one of you said, I'll go forth and I'll struggle and strive and I will launch rockets, but I won't go. I'll just stay there in my lackful, mournful, complaining existence. And I'll sacrifice the joy that could be mine for the good of others. Not one of you said that. Every one of you said, I'll go into natural contrast and from it I will choose. And once the choice is made and the larger part of me gives undivided attention to the choice, I will too. And you know what the most exhilarating thing about that is that everything that you want to call joyous life experience, every bit of it is that closing of that gap. In other words, you out here on the leading edge, you get to explore the contrast and you get to launch the rocket. But then the most wonderful thing happens to you. You get to feel the visceral, tactile, physical thrill of now coming into alignment with your expansion. You get to experience the manifested perfection of every wish or desire or dream that you could ever conjure. But you've got to learn how to become a match to your dreams, which means you got to let go of reality. You got to let go of the reality of the isness of now, because some of it's good and some of it is not the way you want it to be. And you've trained yourself to be so very objective. You weigh the pros and the cons and the pluses and the minuses. You find things, you may not believe this, but you find things in your historical history. You find things in your history that were awful and you make monuments about them. and then you drag your blessed new little ones down the long, awful trail of all of that history. Do you see how it all fits together? There are no words to convey to you the appreciation that we feel from this non-physical vantage point for the leading edge work that you all are doing. We want to assure you that your future, that the future of this planet, that the future of all that you know as physicality, it is magnificently laid out before you. And when you find something to fuss and worry about, the most significance that has is that for you, right here, right now, you prevent yourself from being the full being that you really are. And here is the most significant thing that you will hear from us this day or ever. That negative emotion that you feel simply means that you are not keeping up with you. You are not keeping up with who you have become as a result of the life that you've been living. So, we have enjoyed this interaction more than words can convey. It is exhilarating to come together with the likes of you who are out here exploring the contrast. It is our desire to impart to you our appreciation of your important part and to shine a bright light on what you've managed to create, which is present tense for us and only slightly future tense for you. It has been satisfying to feel you resonating with the vibrational concepts of the vortex. And it is pleasing to us that you are more awakened to your individual awareness of your proximity to who you really are. If you heard nothing from us at all, like you've heard today, but if you had heard from your grandmother that it's always best to think thoughts that please you, you would still know everything that is important to you. We make too much of this, really we do. But mostly as we try to figure out all that stuff that's outside the vortex. Because when you get into vibrational alignment with who you really are, then everything that you are begins to take on a new light. You begin to remember the bigness of who you are, and even more, the worthiness and the rightness of who you are. And along with that comes appreciation, not only for who you are, but for who others are. When you get the big picture of the value of all this contrast, then you can look at the differences that they are believing or the differences that they are living. And in those differences, you can begin to feel appreciation for the broadness of the playground that it creates for all of you. But it is only when you garner control of your own focus that you will be able to appreciate them in their differences rather than fear them. It is only when you understand that law of attraction is the basis of this universe and that there is no assertion anywhere. Nothing can assert itself into your experience. When you reach the place that you're understanding that in this attraction-based universe, that when you look at something and say yes to it, you include it in your vibration. But when you look at something and shout no to it, you include it in your vibration. But even more important, when you look at something and shout no at it, and it gives you that awful feeling that you call any number of negative emotions, that what it really means is you are taking a vibrational stance, a mental stance, a human physical stance that the source within you is not taking. And in doing so, you have created a departure, a temporary vibrational departure from the whole of that which is you, and therein lies your struggle, and therein lies 100% of your struggle. The only struggle that exists in the human experience, or any other, but it's mostly struggle in the human experience, exists because your life has caused you to expand, and for some screwy reason, you're not taking the expansion. Not yet, at least. We've enjoyed this immensely. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain eternally and joyfully and expectantly incomplete.